Hello, hello, hello. Once again, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're watching from. This is the show, Who Are You? And I am your host, Dr. Leah. Thank you so much for all those who will be joining us live or will be watching the replay. Today is Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Some of us need that rest. We want to sleep long tomorrow. We want to take some rest. Yes, you heard me right. We need rest. All of us, we need rest. So today we have a great lady, great queen. She is coming all the way from Panama City. Panama City. We are in Panama City today, and I am so glad that we are going to learn how to maximize our businesses today. Those who have small businesses, if you call yourself a small business owner, so take your pen, take your notebook, begin to jot notes, because our guest today, Erica Leary from Panama City, is going to teach us more about how to maximize our business, especially in this season, in this pandemic time. There's so many small businesses that are struggling, and I can say, yes, this is the time to learn what to do, how to maximize on it, and how to push it to the next level that you want it to be. So I will not take a lot of time. We will bring up Erica so she can jump on in and tell us and talk to us and pour out on us everything that we need. Hello there. How are you?
Hello, Dr. Leah. Thank you so much for having me. I'm great. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on to the show. Thank you so much even for jumping on despite of the time difference and the time mishap. I'm so
No
sorry
worries. No worries.
about that.
It's not totally set up, but that's all right.
I'm so bad with time zones. I try my best. I try my level best, I can say, but it's never all the same because there's just too many time zones that sometimes you just miss it up in between.
It's
And
so confusing.
exactly. But anyway, the most important thing is that you're here. We didn't miss you. We have you here. And thank you so much for showing up. So, Erica, begin by tell us who you are and what you do and why you do it.
All right. So my name is Erica Leary. I'm the founder of the Power Profit Formula. And what we do is help businesses increase their appointments and double their profits without spending more money on advertising or marketing. And so, in a sense, I am a marketing strategist and a business consultant.
Awesome. Marketing strategist, business consultant. Is it something that when I was going through your bio, it shows that it was something you took a keen on it when you started analyzing small businesses. But I believe it's something that you did in the corporate world before you decided to begin to become an entrepreneur yourself, right?
So I was in, I have a major in marketing and I just fell in love with it. I love marketing. I love all about it. And I worked at like Home Depot, which is an enormous corporation. And the way that they strategize and the way that they position themselves and market themselves, and companies like Disney or all the bigs, it's just fascinating to me how one becomes something amazing and another one you never hear of.
You can say that again.
That's true. I mean, marketing just makes you or breaks you.
I'm telling you. So, Erica, walk us through your journey. How did you become marketing strategist, and what was your idea about it, and why did you choose becoming a marketing strategist?
So, like I said, I was fascinated with marketing from college when I first started studying it, but I didn't jump right into marketing. I just sort of went around about way. What really got me hooked was the real reason is that I read a book. I don't know if any of you guys, if you're into anything online, you've probably read it, but the 4-Hour Work Week. I was on a plane. I read the 4-Hour Work Week and I was like, wow. So that was my introduction to online marketing. And I didn't really know what to do. So I started out in digital marketing. And
Okay.
when I grew that business, that's where I sort of was able to use my marketing strategies and stuff to consult clients on how they should approach their marketing. And that's sort of how it started. And then it just merged into its own business, being full on marketing strategist and business consultant. But it started with digital marketing, which I still do. But
Oh, wow, that's lovely because, most of the people have started with the traditional marketing before digital. And, it's very interesting to see, how, the current generation of people who are jumping into marketing and, business, they are jumping into the new marketing ways, the digital way of doing marketing. And there are so many of them out there that sometimes, so many people can get overwhelmed. There are all those, social media marketing, they pay ads marketing,
it's because they
those.
focus on those tactics, which, I've been in the game like over 10 years, and I can tell you they change constantly. So if you're focusing on those tactics, that's not it. What you need to know is the strategy behind the tactics so that you can switch with the times.
Not focusing on the tactic, but understanding the as it changes with time. So walk us through how you find digital marketing, and you've been there for 10 years, and just walk us through on the changes and how you kind of found yourself on focusing on how that process changes with time and how people can actually position themselves also to change with the way the marketing ways of things are changing.
So for the newer businesses, I mean, I would say one thing, you will evolve. What you start off being may not be what you are, like with me, in 10 years from now. Don't worry about it. The key there is just to start, just jump in and evolve with, your market or your, clients or yourself. As you're learning, you're evolving, and you can evolve. That's okay. People will evolve with you, but you need to just start. But with businesses as a whole, if they focus on their core elements as a business, instead of how they're going to, get, for example, I go through the 5 steps, but the first one is leads. So if you focus on, the fact that you need leads, how you get them may change. You know what I mean? So you might do, back in the day, maybe you had to do infomercials or you had to do billboards or, TV. Now you can just do an awesome social media campaign and, get your leads that way. Maybe you do phone calls. All of those are the tactics behind it, but you know that you need to get leads. And so the strategy of behind how you want to get those leads and stuff works into the tactics.
Awesome. So walk us through before we go into the 5 steps or the 5 most valuable techniques for you that you'd say this. I would encourage a beginner who is just starting out, or a small business owner who is just starting out and struggling and wants to begin to find leads. How would you say that the difference between the pay ads or the billboarding or the social media posting, and whether it is the organic or it is the influencer posting, how would that all play as for a small business owner?
So it depends. I mean, all of it is basically customizable to your budget, to your needs. You need to know, why, basically what you're looking for and where you want to be. So for a small business owner, I work a lot with service-based business owners. And so their lifetime value for their customer is typically a lot larger. So if you work with a lot of consultants or coaches, maybe their lifetime value is a lot higher, right? So that's sort of where my mind goes is, okay, you can maybe afford to spend a little bit more on your leads, because once you get them into your system, if you're doing everything else okay, once you get them into your system, you're going to get that money back. But
Mm.
if you're selling, something like gum, for example, your whole strategy is going to be totally different on how you want
Mm.
to get those leads. And
Mm.
the other thing is, for a pack of gum, do you need as much stuff? Like in marketing world, there's something called AIDA. It's an AIDA formula, and it basically is attention, interest, desire, and action. And that
Mhm.
attention, is how you want to get their attention. But do you need to get back a step from there and do some sort of like awareness? In
Mhm.
marketing, we learn a lot about the know you, like you, trust you. So you need to
Mhm.
make them aware of, maybe what the problem is or how you personally are going to solve that problem. You need to make them aware of all of that.
Mm.
It's going to work differently depending on where your business is. But if you're talking in terms of a newer business, awareness is definitely going to be a huge part of where you're going to spend a lot of your energy, because number one, you need to make sure that they understand, what problems you're solving and how you solve it differently. So
Mm.
that's
Mm.
a big area that you want them to be, to get to know you and that you are an expert in what you do and that they can trust what you're saying and get to like you for who you are. So you're going to
Mm.
want to spend a lot more time on that content, making sure that they get to know you, like things like podcasts, or maybe you do lives, or camera right now is definitely in, and those are some of the easier ways to let people know who you are. But
Mm.
you're going to want to spread out your content and what you're discussing, so that they
Mhm.
know who you are and what you have to offer, and that you are solving their problems. A lot of people jump into social media and want to do promotions, but that just doesn't work.
Mm, mhm, mhm, mhm. Awesome, awesome. And I know, that that's what so many people, especially people who start up, we all want to do promotion. You want to give a sale, you want to give a discount, you want to give, a freebie and all that. And sometimes you can give and give and give, but there is nothing that is coming back. And then, you're going back to the table, you're looking at how you started, you're looking at, because some people is because they learned that from other people who have done it. But then, like you say, you have to identify your need, you have to identify your want, you have to identify where you want to be. And then you also have to identify your product. Who is your market? Where is your customer? And what need are you solving for that customer? So tell
And map
a little.
it out, like know when you're going to do that promotion, like you
Exactly.
definitely should map it out, because one of the biggest problems is, for the newer ones, is they're like, okay, I have heard that I need to just give, 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 give. Well, they do that, but then they never ask. But you have to tell people what you're offering. They want to buy from you most of the time, but you need to ask them or show them or tell them what it is that you have, what you're offering, and, say, hey, you can buy it here.
Exactly. And I think that is where a lot of people have a lot of problem to say, okay, you can buy here, or how many times do I have to do the call of action for my products on social media? Is it too monotonous? Is it coming out so like, it's just about my business, business, business. There is nothing, people don't know who I am. How best would you advise a small business owner who wants to start on up on a social media, like how to do the content with a calendar of 5 days?
Yeah, I would definitely say plan it out ahead of time. It's different for everybody. If you're a one man show, which most entrepreneurs are when they first start off, it depends on how much time you can dedicate to it. But I mean, try if you can to at least do once a week. If you can do one a day, awesome. That's obviously better than once a week. If you can do two a day on, Facebook, Instagram type, that's really good. I would say LinkedIn, leave it to one a day. But
Mm-hmm.
switch up, the types of media also, on both Facebook and Instagram. I'm just naming those because these are the big ones, but on
Yeah,
Facebook and
yeah, yeah.
Instagram, you can do images, you can do quotes, that kind of thing. You can bring in other people's content, which is great, as long as you put your spin on it and you talk about, if you want to post somebody else's content, add your own little caption to it and say why you're adding that to your feed or whatever. And then do stories and, do video, just do a mix of all of it. Remember, nobody in your feed is seeing everything that you're doing. That's one of the biggest concerns is, oh my God, I'm like bombarding them, but you're not. I mean, they're seeing maybe 12%, 12% of your people are seeing what you're doing. So that's like minuscule. That's why you need to be very consistent in what you're doing and do it all the time. The problem is, be consistent. And if you're doing it yourself, if you cannot outsource it, make sure ahead of time that you've carved out that time for it. If you're going to do a week at a time, plan it on Sundays, or Saturdays, Fridays, whatever, take a day, plan it out, create your content for it and have it ready to rock. That way you're not scrambling around at the last minute, just posting stuff that has nothing to do with your end game. What do you want them to do? Where do you want them to go? And that doesn't mean promotions every day at all. Does that answer the question?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And it also leads me to the next question, because sometimes you find, okay, people, let's talk about, because you've said you work a lot with people who are doing services, who are offering services. And I can only talk about, maybe a coach or somebody who is a consultant or something like that. There is some of them probably they're starting out and they don't have a website. So how would you advise them if they are trying to attract their clients, their, potential clients niche? How would they show to where? Is it to a landing page, or how would that work? Or must they have a website?
No, I mean, I definitely think everybody needs to have a website eventually, but eventually is key here. If you're just starting out, don't let anything hold you back. Get in there and just start doing it, right? But you do need a landing page. You want somewhere to capture their information, to be able to contact them again. You don't want all your eggs in one basket. If all of a sudden you got banned from Facebook, would you have a way to still contact your, leads or your future potential clients and people? So you always want to have like a mix of places where you are servicing the same clients, move them around, move them from YouTube to Facebook, move them from Facebook to your email. An email list is key. You want to start off day one collecting email addresses. And you mentioned earlier, that people want to give something away for free. So the easiest way to do that is, lead capture page, like a whole landing page might be a little bit overwhelming for some people. But if you use something like ConvertKit and it's called an autoresponder, some of them now have where you can just build it right in there. It's not my favorite, most ideal way to do it, but when you're first starting out, do it. I still use that every now and then just because it's so fast, quick, and easy. But, a landing page you can make, if you use landing page software, you can do a whole lot more, but don't worry about it. At the beginning, I would say just, jump in and get it done.
Awesome. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to get 5 best techniques or 5 best ways that Erica could advise a small business owner who is starting up, 5 steps that they can take one at a time, building up their business to grow, even in these times of pandemic, because this is the most difficult times where everybody is struggling, everybody is trying to put things together, and they're trying so hard because you only have virtual meetings, you only have online ads, or you have social media, or if you don't have a big community of people within your followers of your social media, you kind of want to understand, so what would be the 5 best or the 5 best techniques or ways that you can implement in your small business to begin to grow it. So don't go away. We are going to make a short break, and when we come back, Erica will be guiding us through the 5 steps.
Your heart is tarnished black and blue, but Betrayal is a feeling, not a word anymore. And you won't fall in love again. You've opened up too many times to be let down once more. And you said, I'll build a wall around myself.
Hello, welcome back. This is the show, Who Are You? I am your host, Dr. Leah, and our guest today is Erica Leary from Panama City. So I am glad to be in Panama, because I didn't know if I would ever come to Panama, but I am in Panama today. So thank you so much for Violet, who is watching. She says, this is really nice. Thank you, Lee and Erica. Thank you so much, Violet. Sure, being consistent and loving what you do, creating time for that. And future is female. Thank you so much for your comment. Thank you so much for all those you're watching. Tell us where you're watching from. I know Violet is watching from Germany, Munich. So just tell us where you're watching from so that we can know what really stood out for you during the show, and what is your points you took away with you that you will begin to implement one after the other in your business. So Erica, as we said, we would like you to give us the 5 simple steps or the 5 simple techniques that you think a small business owner who is just starting out can begin to implement, which would be the first, simple, easiest way to begin as they continue to grow in this time.
Okay, perfect. So there are 5 things that every business definitely needs to focus on just to be successful and to make their whole business function, right? The first one is mastering leads. You need to master the leads. And you mentioned this a little bit earlier, but figuring out who your target market is, who you want to speak to, and really speaking to what their pain point is and what they are going through. Remember, it's about actually getting inside their head and knowing them. So that's a really big point. And then the second one is to explode your conversions. And conversions is getting them to do what you want them to do, whether that's buy from you, whether that's to click on the link, whether that's to do whatever it is that you want them to do. You're converting them from being a lead to a customer, a client, whatever, right? So with that one, I would say these 2 are like the main ones that new businesses really want to focus on, because to get the high conversions, you really need to work on your messaging more than anything, and make sure that you are wording things in a way that is getting inside of your client's head, and that you really have your personal messaging down. And by that, I just mean, what do you stand for? Why are you doing this? Everything that goes behind you, and that you are putting that out when you're talking. When I first came on the show, you asked me who I was. My little elevator pitch or whatever, you need to have one of those to be able to tell people exactly what you do. That's one of the biggest problems that people have, is somebody will ask them what they do and they can't tell you in a succinct way. Work on that, figure out what you do and be able to say it, 10 words or less type thing. And you want that to be everywhere. So that is going to be, I would say, the core, if you're a new business, of what you want to really focus your time in on those 2 things. But the other ones I'll go through really quickly is the third one is transactions. You want to have recurring transactions, or as many transactions as possible, right? So we were talking about earlier the lifetime value of a customer. You want to make sure that there is a lifetime for that customer. It's not just like a one-off. You don't want to sell them one thing and never hear or see from them again. That makes it really, really difficult to build a business. So you want to have some sort of a recurring thing. If you cannot have like a subscription or recurring, have a good audience that likes what you talk about and what you're offering, so that when you offer something again, they buy it again. Like Dr. Leah has 3 different books, right? You want them buying your first book, and then you want them moving on to the second book and the third book. You don't want them to stop at one. So you're constantly trying to figure out how you can move them through that journey with you. And always, make sure that you have another way to serve them. Once they're through with this stage, where do you want them to go? Have it ready, at least in the back of your mind. Maybe you're not there yet, but have it ready and move up those transactions so that once you have somebody in, like as a client, we're going to call them a lead and then you convert them. Now they're a client. Once they're a client, they're less expensive to keep selling to. So you want to make sure that you have more things to sell them or more ways to keep them involved with you while paying. And that would be some sort of subscription or recurring. And then the next one is pricing. You can increase your prices, which I know a lot of people get nervous about doing. But if you can add value in ways that other people don't add value, if you can add something on, like maybe you have a physical product, but maybe you can add on, an informational video or a call or something that adds value to it, and you can charge a higher price because of that value. So you can increase your profits by changing it up a little bit.
Awesome.
And the last one is just double your profits. And there's all sorts of ways to get into figuring out how to double your profits. And bundling would be one of those ways, changing your pricing up. Another one would be cutting costs, getting rid of things that you're spending money on that maybe you don't need to be spending money on. That's clearly for bigger businesses. When we're starting out, maybe we're already bootstrapping.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Those were very good points that you have given out there. And I think most of the people will relate with all that. And I know, like you said, pricing is always something that everybody is struggling with because you don't know, am I pricing so high? Am I pricing too low? Am I really, on the right margin with my pricing, my income, my expenses, my profits that are coming in? What should I do so much? So like you do also coaching for people in this in this business space, that you coach them how they can grow those businesses. How do you say that they just have to play around with the pricing? They can go high, they can go low. Would you say it's
add
easier?
Things?
Exactly. Add things that would supplement and make it more attractive for people to coming back and forth. So it's like a after sale service, you just come back. But is there a specific thing that you'd say about pricing? Say, okay, it's better to have your price higher when you begin and then you can easily drop, or low and then you can easily add it?
So I personally think this is very personal, and I'll tell you why. So it would be very easy for me to tell you that you should be charging $3,000 a month. But if charging $3,000 a month sounds ludicrous to you, whether that's way too high or way too low, it's not going to work for you. Yes. So one of the things is, the confidence in who you are and what you're offering, and the confidence to say the pricing. Maybe you are confident in who you are and what you're offering, but like you're not so comfortable with the whole pricing thing yet. So a lot of times, that is going to be what sort of makes the actual pricing rather than what it should be. What I say it should be is not necessarily what it should be for you, because who we are and who we're selling to, all of that sort of kind of comes into play. So I think that's a little bit different for everybody. I think that you never want to sell yourself short. I don't encourage people to lower. I don't like discounts at all, that kind of thing. I don't encourage people to do it all. I don't think you should ever. I think like coupons and the Groupon, that whole thing, I think promotes the mentality of people when they go to get a Groupon. They expect that price always. A lot of businesses use that to get people in the door and then hopefully keep them. But in a lot of circumstances, it doesn't work because they'll just go to the next Groupon the next time. So you need something to hook them in and keep them there, even if the Groupon is how you got them there in the first place.
Awesome. Awesome. Go ahead.
I was just saying, so I just think pricing is very personal to, who you are personally, to what you're offering, and to your market as well, because a lot of markets are not in the same place either. It's good if you have levels. If you can get somebody in the door at a lower price level and build them up, that's awesome. That's the way to do it too. Some people, you're going to start here, and then add on. It just depends on, who you're selling to too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erica, for showing up to this show. Tell us how people can reach you if they want to work with you, if they want to learn more about you, and what you do and how you do it, if they need support, and how they can work with you.
Okay, great. So down below is my, that's my personal Facebook. I just put that on there because I do a lot of live videos on there. So that's a good one to find me if you want to see my face. I have a business one, Erica Leary, and then my website, Erica Leary. But I also have a free thing if you want it at it's powerprofitformula.com. So you can just get a list of the things that you should always be looking at with your business to go through. The 5 things that I mentioned for your business to go through. So
Wonderful.
It's Power Profit Formula. Yeah, you've got it up there.
Powerprofitformula.com. Thank you so much.
Erica Leary. It's ERICA. You had it up there before. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Erica. We are so glad that you showed up. Thank you so much for sharing with us all those 5 points and the strategies that young business owners can begin to implement into their businesses. I'm going to implement for mine too, as well as I'll go and look in the powerprofitformula.com and see what else is there that I can use. But thank you so much, because I know that this is going to be a good information for a lot of people who will be watching. And thank you so much that you are able to flexibly change in your time as well, considering where we are at. So thank you so much. Thank you for those who have been watching. Thank you, Florence Nasibe, for watching that. Thank you so much for your comments. All that have been watching and didn't comment, we still thank you so much, because we know that we are all learning something out of all these shows that we bring up. Tomorrow we are back at the same time. Tomorrow we have a special show because it's a Saturday, and we are going to talk about mind, body, weight. We have a nutritionist who will be talking to us about nutrition, about taking care of our weight, our mindset behind the weight loss and nutrition, and how just to take care of yourself and love yourself and know that your body is your asset, that when you take care of it, as you remain healthy, your mind remains healthy, your soul remains healthy, you will be able to make things happen. You will be moving things. You'll be thriving in whatever things that you're doing. So don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 18 p.m. CET time. We will be on with our nutritionist, and she will be talking to us. So you will definitely be wanting, if you've been struggling with a lot of weight, if you've been struggling with all kinds of diets, this is the time to really and see and learn from people who have gone from struggle with weight to being perfect, and learning and understanding what is right for your body and how to do it. Thank you so much, Erica. This is your host, Dr. Leah, and the show is Who Are You? So until tomorrow, we say, stay blessed. Come